Everyone, my name is Andrew and I am in group 2 with shot 8, sequence 5. And in this video I'm just going to go over my video reference, kind of break it down, like what I want to achieve, my process so far. And yeah, let's kind of get started. Here's my reference. And if we kind of look through this, I'll just play it here quick. So basically the story of this girl is the guy saving the girl, however the roles of the two are swapped. So the girl is more of a masculine type, so she's very broad, she's very wide, she doesn't get she's just overall disappointed. And the guy is more feminine, he's a little bit more clumsy, and he just does more close and uptight type of movements. So if we look at this reference, you can kind of, this is kind of the achieve, like she's kind of bored, she's just playing, tapping her foot, and then she looks up, takes about a second, realizes who he is. He's kind of surprised, and then she kind of gets disappointed because she realizes of what type of, like, how as a feminine guy is supposed to save me, and I was expecting more of like some type of hero or something like that. So she kind of turned away. In the end, I kind of got rid of this turn. I kind of just made her get kind of frustrated at him and kind of like glare at him. But you'll kind of see that here pretty soon. So that's my reference. As far as keys in here, all of this movement is pretty subtle. Like it's just basically subtle movements. There's a few broad keys, but as far as keys, here's my very first turn in. And what was wrong with this turn in is she looked too feminine. And her hand was showing, and I took all the critiques from class and kind of applied that. So I'll kind of show you that here. And if you look, she's just super feminine, and I really didn't like that turnaround because that turnaround just gave it more of a feminine look. I figured if it was more masculine, you know, she wouldn't even turn around. She would just kind of just stare back at the floor, or she would give him kind of this glare. She would be more sturdy rather than moving. But she does a lot of movements here. So then I took all those critiques, and then the second lab, this is kind of what I got. This isn't in stepped because I was starting to go through my auto tangents and correct some things, but here's my result. So there's a few things about this. You can kind of see she's kind of bored, she's just waiting, very subtle movements, and then she looks up, realizes who he is, and she's kind of surprised. But I think what I'm going to do is knock back this. Like, this pose is super extreme. I just wanted to keep it in there to see what other people thought, but my initial thinking is just reducing this, making her kind of react a little less. Maybe just like raise her eyebrows and kind of crook her head back, really not moving the body too much. Kind of giving that acknowledgement that, it's this guy. Like, well, how is this guy going to save me? And then she kind of gets like this disgusted look, and then in the end is kind of angry. You can kind of see her expressions there. So I was thinking about knocking this back so there's not so much movement, because I still feel like this is pretty feminine, even though her face doesn't look all that feminine. But if I knock it back and make her have less movements, but more subtle, then this will be a really nice piece in the end. But I would like to hear everybody else's thoughts on that. I kind of show you the scene here. And I'll go ahead and take all of these into stepped here real quick, so you can kind of see like the breakdowns and how everything's playing out. So if we look here, the first 4 keys are just her head tapping and her subtle movements. and then she leads with her eyes. So her eyes come up. There's a little anticipation there. So she anticipates down before she moves the head up, and then kind of like a little hold, a moving hold here. Only 3 frames, but it's really subtle moving hold. And then this is where I think it's too extreme. So here's the breakdown for the extreme. But I think I'm just going to knock it back where it's only her head or maybe like her upper torso that kind of like jerks up, like she's kind of surprised, like, oh, why is this? And then she comes down and then gets this angry face. But yeah, those are the keys I have. I really like where it's coming. I'm really glad I got critiques on making her more masculine. I'm definitely glad I kind of scratched the whole turning around and starting kind of fresh, kind of new. I used a lot of similar poses, just spaced them out more, gave her more space, more of a masculine type of look. And so far, I'm really liking the results so far. I'm done with my breakdowns. I will edit them a little bit more, but I'm onto the fine tuning and kind of fixing up and start working on my timing and how everything plays out. But yeah, that is my shot in a nutshell. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.